That's a Yale lock. Yale was a famous lock company. They started out making bank vault locks, and then they moved on to prisons. These were supposed to be unpickable locks. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. I'll hold on to that. Inmates did pick the locks. They did file the locks off, different things like that. Okay, now that's open. Now open the door.
Like how?
Right, good question. Well, let's see. What do you think is going to work? What do you think is going to be the beginning? Oh, you're onto it, right. So it looks like you can see that there's this handle here, right? And we think we're going to need to pull that out, but when we try, it's locked. But when you notice that when I move it, another element is moving, right? That little piece right there. So they're connected. Now this one is trickier than the other one. Some of them you can just pull up. This one you have to put your hand right up to the wall and pull up. So get your fingers right up to the wall.
Here?
Yep, and pull it up. There you go. Okay. Now we can free this. Now you can open it up. Now you notice, there you go, you're onto something there. Tuck it back, now swing it open.
What?
Tuck it back, grab it, and pull it open. And the reason why I say tuck it back is because otherwise, this is going to be hanging outside. And as it is, this docks into a hole, a slot, in the gate, in the door frame. So you can swing it all the way open.
Okay.
Now, the door is open. As soon as the door is open, as soon as this lock is off, and that is freed, we're going to lock it back on the hasp. Because you never want to have a loose lock. You always want to have a lock secured, because you don't want to lose the lock, you don't want the locks to get mixed up, you don't want somebody to grab a lock. For security, you always want the lock on the hasp. Okay, now the inmate can come out, right? And you're standing right there. So that's a little bit of a fraught situation, right? I mean, there's a potential for a conflict there, right? So anyway, that's something that you have to deal with. And now, is that a very easy process, opening that door?
Yeah.
It's not that hard, but it takes a couple steps. Now look at all the other doors. So you can imagine, these inmates need to be in their cells 4 times a day to be counted. Now you can imagine 4 times a day going up and down this hallway, opening and closing every single door one at a time. Not the most efficient way of running your correctional institution. Right? There's another problem with this design as well. An inmate comes back from breakfast, jumps in his cell, swings the door closed, like this. Now this one is a little bit, this one you can't really, it swings out a little bit, but you can close it in like just that far. Now if a guard is walking very quickly by, not paying a lot of attention, there's a problem. Because this can look locked, but not be locked. And there are inmates that would take advantage of that flaw in the design in order to have their doors actually open. So there's a number of problems with this. Anybody want to close it up? All right. Thank you. I mean, how often do you get to play with cell doors? Now, can anybody imagine a better design for the doors than these? Oh.
Well, eventually, of course, they'd get them all automatic.
They'd get them all automatic, yeah. And eventually at Eastern State, so you have to lift that lift, there you go. Eventually means 1953, when they 1956, when they start building Cell Block 15. If you haven't, if you haven't seen Cell Block 15 yet, I recommend you check it out. It's the only cell block here with electronically operated doors. There's a panel you can still see where you can push buttons. Thank you very much, sir. Where you can push buttons and automatically open the doors. You can also swing a lever and open all the doors at once. That's a lot safer for a number of reasons. You're not standing there, right, in a vulnerable position when the inmates are leaving their cells. And those doors are also very, very secure, right? You know when they're locked and when they're not. That's how most doors operate today in prisons.